Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Veilstone City, where the Veilstone Combat are hosting the Goldenrod Giants. The Giants are going to start out with Buffalant and Beware, whereas the Combat are going to start out with Lucario and Polyrath. Lucario starting out again in first place, which it did much better in than starting in third in the first 3 rounds. Last week it started out in first place. Lucario's going to start out quickest Pokemon on the field with that 90 base speed. Goes with an extra sensory targeting Buffalant. Good hit onto Buffalant there. Polyrath's going to follow it up. Polyrath being the only Pokemon on the Veilstone Combat with an attack stat of less than 100, having it at 95, and it goes for Buffalant again. Beware looking to respond for its teammate. It's going to go with a Charge Beam. If it targets Polyrath, it will be super effective. It goes for Lucario, so it's not going to do a great deal of damage. It will boost Beware's special attack though. Buffalant now with an opportunity to respond, having that 110 base attack, but instead goes with a Psybeam. Now that will be super effective on Polyrath, but it does not do a great deal of damage. Will leave Polyrath confused, however. As always, in the comments below, let us know who you think is going to win today, the Veilstone Combat or the Goldenrod Giants. Both teams are actually sitting tied for 9th place, so they definitely want to separate from the other and potentially climb into the top 8. That Astonish is not going to affect the normal types as a ghost type move. Polyrath hurts itself in the confusion as well. Beware now. It's going to go with a rising voltage, and again it's going to want to target Polyrath, but it doesn't. Instead going for Lucario, but it actually takes it below half its health, getting it down into the yellow. Buffalant now is going to go with a Leaf Tornado. And again they're targeting Lucario, so super effective moves they're not using on Polyrath like they potentially could. Polyrath thankfully is still in the battle for the Veilstone Combat. Lucario now gonna go with a Brave Bird, so it's gonna get some recoil damage here. You have to think it's gonna hit very hard on Buffalant, and it does. Buffalant almost been taken down into the red. Lucario having that very impressive 110 attack stat. Polyrath again can't shake off that confusion though and takes itself down into the yellow. Beware's gonna want to try and capitalize on this, but instead goes with a Whirlwind. So it's going to send Polyrath back to the bench. Instead, it's going to pull out a Pokemon for the combat, and it's Conkeldurr coming in with that 140 base attack. Yes, that's 140 very powerful Pokemon. And we're getting Absorb now coming from Buffalant, which you have to think would have finished off Polyrath, but instead it only takes a small amount from Conkeldurr. As always, this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle, so if we do hit our 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime. Lucario now. It's going to go with a Rollout. Probably won't do a great deal of damage on the first turn, but does get Buffalant down into the red. If it continues to build momentum though, it's going to do more damage each attack. Get a Swagger now coming from Beware. And it's going to go for Conkeldurr. So it's going to boost that attack stat even more than it already is, but it will leave Conkeldurr confused. If Conkeldurr can shake that off though, it's going to do massive damage to the opposing team. And they do have the fighting type advantage over the normal types. Sandstorm now being created by Buffalant, so this is going to be doing damage to most Pokemon on the field between turns. Conkeldurr is confused, and it does shake it off, so it's going to be able to use that very impressive attack stat. And it's going to go with a Flamethrower, so it's not taking advantage of it. Instead though, and it goes for Beware, taking it down already into the yellow and leaving Beware with that burn. So Beware's going to be taking more damage, taking damage from the Sandstorm and the burn. Buffalant taking damage from the Sandstorm as Conkeldurr does. The Steel typing for Lucario prevents it from taking damage from the Sandstorm. Lucario continuing with the Rollout, so it's going to hit twice and it's going to finish off Buffalant. So Buffalant has been eliminated. First Pokemon taken off the field. Beware looking to avenge its teammate. It's going to go with Scratch. It's going to target Lucario. Not very effective, but it will put it down into the red. Conkeldurr does shake off that confusion again. It's going to target Beware, and it's going to go with a Poison Tail. And this physical type move could actually finish it, but it doesn't. So Beware's still holding on, but it's going to take damage from that Burn and Sandstorm again, so you have to think Beware's not going to last the turn. And it doesn't, so Beware has been eliminated by the burn, which Conkeldurr created. So we're going to have 2 Pokemon now coming out for the Goldenrod Giants. This is not how they want to start this battle. We have Miltank, who's very familiar with the rollout attack, especially in Goldenrod City, and Stoutland with its Intimidate, lowering the attack stat of Lucario and Conqueror, which is very needed with Conqueror already having that boost. Stoutland coming on with that 110 base attack. Miltank coming onto the field with 105 base defense, but it's got that 100 speed and it goes with Safeguard, so it's going to prevent its teammates from taking damage from things like Burn because they won't be able to be hit by that. The rollout misses Stoutland, thankfully. But we're going to get a superpower now coming from Stoutland. And it targets Lucario and finishes Lucario off with that super effective move. Very impressive by Stoutland. Sadly, does lower its attack and defense. But it's very needed for the Goldenrod Giants to get that elimination on the board. Conqueror still confused and again shakes it off for the third turn in a row. And it's going to go with a Frenzy Plant. And it's going to target Miltank. Very impressive damage. Almost getting it down into the yellow. Miltank, though, is going to be hit by that Sandstorm, as is everyone else on this field. Poliwrath will be coming back onto the field now for the Veilstone combat. As always, in our description below, we have a link to our Google Doc containing the ladder, fixture stats, and all the team rosters. Miltank's still the fastest Pokemon on the field. And it's going to go with Payback. This is not going to be very effective Dark type move on the Fighting type. Only minor damage being done there to Conqueror. Speed advantage going to all of the Goldenrod Giants at the moment. And we see another Frenzy Plant, but Conqueror avoids that move. Poliwrath now. Going to go with a Glare, but that Safeguard, there it is, protecting the Goldenrod Giants from being paralyzed by that Glare. There's that Sandstorm still doing damage to everyone. Not only do we have the Google Doc in the description below, but we also have our Instagram page. So feel free to check that out and leave a follow. Miltank now is going to go with the Ancient Power. Looks like it's going to target Poliwrath. Not a great deal of damage though, being not very effective. Stoutland. It's going to go with a Guillotine, a one-hit KO move. We've never seen one of these. And here we go. Guillotine hits Poliwrath. One hit KO, even though Poliwrath had already had that damage done, you know that that move is going to finish Pokemon off. Very impressive there by Stoutland. And Conqueror finally succumbs to that confusion, sadly hurting itself, but that Sandstorm now has left the field. So no one will be taking any more damage from that. And Sirfetch'd coming on the field for the Veilstone combat. Sirfetch'd having 135 base attack. Again, the Veilstone combat having the highest attack average in all of the Elite Challenge League with 119.1 across their 10-team roster. Stoutland very impressive with that Guillotine. He's going to want to look to follow up that move and goes with an Ember. So targets Conqueror, continuing to chip away at the Fighting type. Sirfetch'd. It's going to go with an Aeroblast. Signature move of the legendary Lugia. Decent damage to Miltank, but Miltank is down in the red. But Conqueror now has snapped out of that confusion, and it's going to go with a Dragon Rush. Not the greatest accuracy, but it is going to hit, and it comes straight down onto Miltank. Miltank has been eliminated. It's 3 Pokemon now gone from the Goldenrod Giants, and 2 down from the Veilstone combat. 5th Pokemon now coming out for the Goldenrod Giants, and it's Porygon Z. Porygon Z having that 135 special attack, and with that download, its special attack just got raised even higher. Porygon 2 actually almost qualified for the Goldenrod Giants, was made ineligible due to Porygon Z being on the team. And Conqueror takes more damage from the Goldenrod Giants. We'll get a Spark. If it targets Conqueror, you have to think it could potentially finish it off, but instead goes for Sirfetch'd. Sirfetch'd now with its opportunity to respond goes for a Hornrill, but we do not see our second one-hit KO move of the battle. Conqueror now is going to go with a Shell Smash. It's just going to boost its defenses. Oh, sorry, it's going to lower its defenses. It's going to boost its attack even higher than it already is. It keeps raising that attack, and it also raises that speed, so it needs to take advantage of it as it doesn't have a great deal of health left and could potentially be eliminated in the coming turns. Conqueror, though, is now the fastest Pokemon on the field. Unbelievable. And it's going to go with a Horn attack. Could do massive damage, and it does, unbelievably, with all those attack stats being boosted. Stoutland has been eliminated with a massive horn attack from Conqueror. And now we see a tail whip from Porygon Z. Which is going to lower the defenses of Surfetch'd and Conqueror, but it needs to hit an offensive type move because Conqueror has all those attack stats boosted. But instead we get a Giga Impact now coming from Surfetch'd. And very impressive looking move, taking Porygon Z all the way down to the yellow. Gonna have our final Pokemon now coming up for the Goldenrod Giants, and it's Dugwall. A very fluffy looking cheap Pokemon. Dugwall is coming on the field with that 100 base defense. You have to think none of those defenses are going to be enough to survive Conqueror, and having that speed advantage, it can continue to wipe out opponents. Sadly, it throws out the spikes, which will be of absolutely no benefit to the Veilstone combat, as no more Pokemon will be coming onto the field for the Goldenrod Giants. Get a Defog now coming from Porygon Z. So that will lower the evasiveness of Surfetch'd and also get rid of the spikes. Cross Chop now coming from Dugwall. And it goes for Surfetch'd, and very impressive hit, critical hit. Surfetch'd is holding on, and it's got to recharge from that Giga Impact. Surfetch'd 1 health point left. Unbelievable, I can't believe it held on to that. So both Veilstone combat Pokemon are in the red, and we get an Ice Shard now coming from Conqueror. This could finish off Porygon Z. And it does. So Porygon Z has now been eliminated, and Dugwall is the only Pokemon remaining for the Goldenrod Giants, but it could eliminate somebody right here, right now. Instead it goes with a Belly Drum, so it's going to cut half of its HP to maximize its attack. Sadly, that is not what it needed, unless it can absolutely capitalize on this. We get an Aqua Ring coming now from Surfetch'd, so it's going to start restoring some of its HP between turns, which it very much needs. And Conqueror is going to have that speed advantage. And the Veilstone combat definitely need the win, and it looks like they're going to get it at this stage unless the Goldenrod Giants can pull out something magical. Conqueror is going to go with a Withdraw, so it's just going to boost its defense. Dugwall now with an opportunity. And it's going to go with a Flail. And it targets Surfetch'd. So Surfetch'd has finally been eliminated. That's exactly what Dugwall needed. We have Como, the pseudo legendary, coming out for the Veilstone combat, ranked number 1 for the combat. That 105 special defense, 110 attack. Conqueror again, still with that speed advantage, having boosted so many of its stats in this battle, and it's going to go with a Sacred Fire. This could actually finish it right here. And it does! Conqueror has dominated this match and helped the Veilstone combat continue to get a second win in a row. So this could potentially get the Veilstone combat up into the 8. But the combat held the advantage, but you have to think the majority of this battle, it was never in the Goldenrod Giants' favour, having lost the first 2 Pokemon of the battle, and it just continued to get worse from there. But Stoutland, I will admit, very impressive. We did see that Guillotine, awesome looking move with that very low accuracy. It's always nice to see a one-hit KO, and here it is. Unbelievable, taking down Poliwrath, who survived the potential of so many special attacks earlier on in the battle. So you hope the Veilstone combat can continue this momentum when they go to Burbank City next week and take on the Burbank Venom. Sadly for the Goldenrod Giants, this is their second loss in a row, and they want to prevent that from happening again when they host the very, very impressive Cinnabar Flare next week in Goldenrod City. But Conqueror absolutely dominating this battle, taking out the majority of the Goldenrod Giants. But Nidorinas, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. And always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time. Bye.